February 27th, 2026. A quiet, almost silent morning in the heart of Tehran. Inside a heavily secured government complex in the capital, Iran's top leadership had gathered for a high-level meeting. From the outside, everything looked normal. The city moved as it always did, traffic flowing, people going about their day, unaware of what was unfolding behind closed doors. But at that exact moment, the eyes of some of the world's most powerful intelligence agencies were locked onto that very building, because they believed one thing: Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was inside. According to multiple international sources, U.S. intelligence had detected unusual high-level movement within the complex. After months of surveillance, the data pointed to something significant. That intelligence was quickly shared with Israel, and from that moment, a covert joint operation began. What started in silence was slowly turning into something much bigger. For months, efforts had happened underway to penetrate Iran's communication systems. Satellite monitoring, hacked surveillance cameras, and deep intelligence analysis were used to track the movements of top officials. The objective wasn't immediate attack, it was confirmation, because without absolute certainty, there could be no strike. Meanwhile, Iran believed its security shield was impenetrable. Advanced air defense systems across Tehran were expected to protect its leadership at all costs. That was the assumption. But this operation didn't begin with weapons, it began with information. Once every movement of key leaders was mapped and monitored, even the most secure locations started to become vulnerable. Analysts later said this was the most critical phase of the entire operation, because once the target was confirmed, everything changed. The people of Tehran still had no idea. The city continued its normal rhythm, but in the shadows, the war had already begun. After months of silent surveillance, the operation entered its most decisive phase. The initial goal was not to directly eliminate Khamenei. Instead, the plan was to overwhelm Iran's defense systems, to keep them distracted, stretched thin, and unable to respond when it mattered most. Reports suggest the first step was to weaken Tehran's airspace. Rather than striking the main target immediately, a series of coordinated diversion attacks began. Explosions were reported in multiple locations, forcing defense forces to respond on several fronts at once. Confusion spread, and then came the main operation. From multiple bases, nearly 100 fighter jets were launched in a synchronized assault. What had started as a covert mission was now a full-scale aerial operation. Inside the city, many still didn't realize what was really happening. Distant explosions were dismissed as limited military tension, but the attack zone was tightening, slowly, deliberately closing in on one specific location. Tehran's skies grew heavier with tension. Even as reports of explosions increased, the secured complex itself was not yet seen as being under immediate threat. And that's when everything changed. According to security protocols, the leadership should have been deep inside the most fortified underground bunker, but in reality, they were positioned in a shallower underground facility. That single decision became a critical vulnerability. At that moment, months of intelligence came together. Analysts confirmed the target was there, and within seconds, everything erupted. A massive explosion shook the area. Multiple layers of security infrastructure collapsed almost instantly. A location once believed to be impenetrable was reduced to rubble. Later, many analysts would say, if they had been deeper underground, the outcome might have been very different. Only then did the people of Tehran begin to understand this wasn't just another military strike. It was a targeted blow, aimed not only at leadership,
but at the morale of an entire nation.
Almost there, hold on!
Smoke and dust covered the capital's center. Rescue teams rushed in, but it quickly became clear. This was no ordinary attack. It was precise, calculated, intentional. Several high-ranking military and security officials were reportedly killed. Many others present in the meeting were injured or did not